stranded in a tiny town on fair Prince Edward Island, waiting for a ship to come and find him. One horse place, a friendly face, some coffee and a tiny trace of fiddling in the distance far behind him. A dime across the counter then, shy hello and a brand new friend, and a walk along the street in the wintry weather. Yellow light and an open door, and welcome friends, there's room for more. Then they're standing there inside together. He said, I've heard this tune before somewhere, but I can't remember when. Was it on some other friendly shore? Did I hear it in the wind? Was it written on the sky above? I think I heard it from someone I love. Never heard a sound so sweet since then. And now his feet begin to tap. A little boy says, I'll take your hat. He's caught up in the magic of her smile. Leap the heart within him went. He's off across the floor. He sent his clumsy body graceful as a child. He said, there's magic in the fiddler's arm. There's magic in this town. There's magic in the dancers' feet and the way they put them down. People smiling everywhere. Boots and ribbons, locks of hair, and laughter, old blue suits and Easter gowns. Sailor's gone, the room is bare. The old piano's sitting there, someone's hat's left hanging on the rack. Empty chairs and a wooden floor that feels the touch of shoes no more, waiting for the dancers to come back. And the fiddle's in the closet of some daughter of the town. The strings are broke, the bow is gone, and the cover's buttoned down. Sometimes on December nights when the air is cold and the wind is right, there's a melody that passes through this town. Thank you, everybody, for being here for the very last Seldom Sober show. That's right, it's the last one, although I'm very pleased to announce we're in negotiations for a 5-year reunion show at Carnegie Hall in 2029, which will be broadcast along with a PBS documentary in which Colleen will finally reveal what happened when she was a Navy SEAL in Afghanistan. So stay tuned in 5 years. Actually, I'm continuing on until I can't continue on anymore. Colleen is retiring. Can we give her a hand? Colleen's been living here in Richmond Hill for almost 18 years, and I'm happy to report she just sold her house. She's moving a few counties over to live a simple life as an organic sweet potato farmer. You know, it's funny, when I tell jokes like this at the Folk Music Society, nobody laughs because they can't tell whether I'm joking or not, because my delivery is so dry.
Somebody actually asked me after that show.
Oh, wait,
about
yeah,
the
I said she was going to live out her lifelong dream of being an alpaca farmer, and someone came up after the show to ask her about alpacas.
So how'd you get into alpacas? And I was like, no. Just
I used to get really offended at the Folk Music Society when they didn't laugh at my jokes, and then I realized they can't tell whether I'm joking or not. They're like, is he serious? Does that really happen? Anyway, we're going to sing a song. We got so much to pack in for tonight. It's going to be a great show. We're going to do one of my favorite songs. We've been doing this since really almost since the beginning. It's called Coulter's Candy. It comes from the suburbs of Edinburgh, Scotland. We're gonna do a lot of songs tonight that you'll probably never hear from me again. This is not one of them, but it will never be the same without Colleen. So this is Coulter's Candy. Ollie Bally Bee, sitting on your mommy's knee, waiting for your wee penny to buy some Coulter's candy. Mama, give me my thrifty doom. Here's old Coulter coming round with a basket on his croon, a-sellin' Coulter's candy. Ollie Bally Bee, sitting on your mommy's knee, waiting for your wee penny to buy some Coulter's candy. Times are getting hard, the new, your daddy's singing on the brew, but Mummy's still got a penny for you to buy some Coulter's candy. Ollie Bally Bee, sitting on your mommy's knee, waiting for your wee penny to buy some Coulter's candy. Come, my boy, you're looking awful thin, a pile of bones covered o'er with skin. You should be getting a bonny double chin from eating all your Coulter's candy. Ollie Bally Bee, sitting on your mommy's knee, waiting for your wee penny to buy some Coulter's candy. Come, my boy, my bunny wee man, run down the road as fast as you can. Pay your money to the sweetie man for a bag of Coulter's candy. Ollie Bally Bee, sitting on your mommy's knee, waiting for your wee penny to buy some Coulter's candy. Ollie Bally Bee, sitting on your mommy's knee, waiting for your wee penny to buy some Coulter's candy, to buy some Coulter's candy. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, before he escapes, the great Harry O'Donoghue is here. Can we give him a hand? We want to say thank you to Harry. Seldom Sober started out at Murphy's Law Irish Pub, which was a great pub when we started, and it went downhill quickly. Harry rescued us. He not only got us a session at Kevin Barry's, but he got Colleen and me on the main stage at Kevin Barry's, one of the most coveted gigs in all of Irish music around the world. Seldom Sober would never have been what it was without Harry O'Donoghue, so Harry, thank you.
Thank you, Harry. We love you.
So I'm going to shut up and let... I ran out of corny jokes. I'll have to come up with some more while Colleen's playing. So we're going to let Colleen play some fiddle tunes, because that's what she does best. Okay. So in case anyone hasn't heard me say this story that I've been saying for the last 15 years, this next set of tunes is called Jigs for Jesus. How did it get a name like that? Well, in 2009, we played at the Tarafesh, the festival that used to be up on Bay Street. And Terrafesh was a fabulous event, a free event, but a dry event. However, it was not a dry event for us because Colleen excelled in chemistry in high school, and she understands how to mix liquids in her kitchen. She is also very generous with her liquids. She gave me a bottle of red liquid, and I drank most of it before we got on stage because I was so nervous. And so we're sitting there playing, and I notice off to the side, there's these 4 people holding these giant signs telling us that we're all going to hell, which is absolutely true, but we were having a good time. There was no need to talk about that right then. That's just rude. So we're getting ready to play this next set. It's a set of jigs. So in the condition I was in, thinking this was hilarious, I said, well, we're going to play a set of jigs, and we'll dedicate it to the people holding the signs and to Jesus, and we know that Jesus will like them because jig and Jesus both start with the letter J. I thought it was funny, but ever since then we call this the Jigs for Jesus set. Thank you. The response is just great. And Colleen, I'm gonna dare say this, but this might be the only fabulous pub gig we've played outside of Kevin Barry's with this kind of response. Yeah, this is gonna be memorable. Thank you. Well, we're gonna do a song from Newfoundland. We played a festival in Camden, South Carolina, and I almost got a girlfriend that day, but it didn't quite work out. Her name was Erin. We're driving home, Colleen's car on the way home, and I heard this song for the first time, and I said, we have got to learn that song. That was the first weekend of March 2020. I had no idea that we were about to have plenty of time to learn that song and several others, some of which we'll do for you tonight. But this is a song called A Boat Like Gideon Brown. She can punch head in any gale and ride the fishing ground. I've often thought how proud I'd be in a boat like Gideon Brown, in a boat like Gideon Brown. Gideon lived across the bay, he's getting older now. His boat was big and strong and bold, she had a stalwart bow. My father's boat was second-hand, one someone used before. After every fishing trip, my father always swore one day he would save enough to go to St. John's Town, buy himself a big new boat, a boat like Gideon Brown, a boat like Gideon Brown. Confederation came around, and the days of old age pension said, son, I'm saving every cent. This you must not mention. You saved the baby bonus too. Things just might turn around. We'll have enough to buy ourselves a boat like Gideon Brown. She can punch head in any gale and ride the fishing ground. I've often thought how proud I'd be in a boat like Gideon Brown, in a boat like Gideon Brown. Many years did pass away, Dad began to fade. He didn't talk of votes too much, he said, son, I'm afraid if things don't soon improve, then I'll be underground. Before we ever get to see ourselves in a boat like Gideon Brown. She can punch head in any gale and ride fishing ground. I've often thought how proud I'd be in a boat like Gideon Brown, in a boat like Gideon Brown. Sat and held his hand one day, said, son, that policy, the insurance is all in your name. You're the beneficiary. When I'm gone, they'll pay you off. Then go to St. John's Town, buy yourself a big new boat, a boat like Gideon Brown. She can punch head in any gale and ride fishing ground. I've often thought how proud I'd be in a boat like Gideon Brown. She can punch head in any gale and ride fishing ground. I've often thought how proud I'd be in a boat like Gideon Brown, in a boat like Gideon Brown, in a boat like Gideon Brown. Thank you. You know, the day they announced that Kevin Barry's was closing was also the day of our last gig there, so we didn't have time to get a good crowd in, but I picked a brand new guitar pick to play that night, and I saved it, and I'm using it tonight for the last Seldom Sober show. I want to embarrass my parents for a moment. Can we give a hand to my parents over here?
Stand up. Stand up.
I would not be here tonight if it wasn't for my parents, and I don't mean just because they made me. I mean because I graduated from high school in June of 1993, and I couldn't think of anything good for a graduation gift, so we just put it on hold. In July, I was at the Barnstable County Fair, where I illegally hopped the fence, which is what young people do, to see the Clancy brothers for the third time. And they were playing Finnegan's Wake, and I just had the idea, why can't I get a guitar and do what they're doing? And So I told my parents, I said, I want a guitar for graduation. They shelled out $150 for a Washburn. I got a book, went off to college. The book did me no good. Came back to my mom and I said, I need lessons. They offered them through the school. Can I have some? She shelled out $400, which was a lot of money that time. Had a great teacher, and that's where it all started. But when I was a teenager, we used to hang out in the basement playing pool. My dad had an old reel-to-reel tape machine. Some of you are old enough to remember what those were. And they had Simon and Garfunkel's album, Bridge Over Troubled Waters, and we used to listen to that all the time. So I want to go ahead and do the boxer and slow things down just a little bit. I'm just a poor boy, though my story is seldom told. I've squandered my resistance for a pocket full of mumbles, such are promises. All lies in jest, still a man hears what he wants to hear and disregards the rest. When I left my home and my family, I was no more than a boy in the company of strangers, in the quiet of the railway station, running scared. Laying low, seeking out the poor quarters where the ragged people go, looking for the places only they would know. Lie-la-lie, 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 lie-la-lie. Lie, la, lie, 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 la, lie, la, la, lie, la, lie. Asking only workmen's wages, come looking for a job, but I get no offers. Just to come on from the whores on 7th Avenue. I do declare there were times when I was so lonesome I took some comfort there. Ooh la 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 la. Lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, la la lie la lie. Now the years are rolling by me, they're rocking evenly. I'm older than I once was, but younger than I'll be, but that's not unusual. No, it isn't strange. After changes upon changes, we are more or less the same. After changes, we are more or less the same. Lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, la la lie la lie. Now I'm laying out my winter clothes, wishing I was gone, going home, where the New York City winters aren't bleeding me to going home. In the clearing stands a boxer and a fighter by his trade, and he carries the reminders of every glove that laid him down or cut him till he cried out in his anger and his shame, I am leaving, but the fighter still remains, still remains. Lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, la la lie la lie, lie la lie, lie lie la lie, lie la lie. Lie la lie, lie lie la lie, la la lie la lie. Lie la lie, lie lie la lie, lie la lie. Lie la lie, lie lie la lie, la la lie la lie. Thank you so much. Thank you. You know, poor Colleen for 17 years, every time I open my mouth, she has no idea what the hell I'm going to say, and she's always sitting there sweating, worrying about what's going to come out next and whether it's going to be appropriate or not. So I'm kind of half expecting her to tell a half-baked story about me tonight, since I've been making up stories about Colleen for 17 years. But I've got to tune up.
I wish I had thought of that.
Yeah, I should have tipped you off.
I don't have anything prepared.
Savannah area, very difficult to keep wooden instruments in tune. I was playing a recital in college when I was a music major, and that's a tough thing to do. You got all these people singing these classical stuff. I was a folk guitar major, so I got up there to sing Finnegan's Wake in the middle of all these people playing Bach and stuff like that. I get up there, and one of my strings slipped and went way out of tune, and I'm sitting there tuning, and it was very awkward. So I said, this is actually a very ancient Chinese folk song called Tu Ning, and kind of saved the day with that. Like a lot of my jokes, I stole that from another band. E and G. Okay, we're going to play a set of tunes now. Thank you. You know, I'm recording this through the sound system for ourselves and also for the people who can't be here. I'm going to try to put it up on YouTube. But the microphones only pick up what's in front of them, so everybody listening is going to think that nobody clapped and nobody laughed at my jokes. All right, let me see what's on my list. I made a special list of all the stuff I wanted to make sure we did tonight. Well, we might as well do some Galway Girl. You know, I actually learned this because I wanted to. It was before the time when it was mandatory to learn this song. We had a band that back. When was this? The late 2000s, early 2010s, late 2000s ish. Every band coming out was called Celtic something. We had Celtic Woman, Celtic Thunder, Celtic this, Celtic that. So obviously a band named Celtic Crossroad came through town. And Colleen thought she was hot stuff because she had a seat in the front row, but I had a seat in the front of the orchestra pit. So she called me on my phone and called me a bad word that I can't say in front of my mommy and all of these children. And so that was the first time I ever heard this song, and I thought, oh, that's a great song, we'll learn that one. This is written by Steve Earle. You're all familiar with it. But it caught on in the Irish circles real quickly and became mandatory fare. So it was one time when we were one step ahead of the game. Well, I took a stroll on the old long walk of the day. Hey. Met a little girl and we stopped to talk of a fine soft day. And I asked you, friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair was black and her eyes were blue. I knew right then I'd be taking a whirl around the Salt Hill prom with a Galway girl. We were halfway there when the rain came down of a day. Hey. So she asked me up to her flat downtown of a fine soft day. And I asked you, friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair was black and her eyes were blue. I took her hands, I gave her a twirl, and I lost my heart to a Galway girl. And when I woke up, I was all alone, with a broken heart and a ticket home. And I ask you now, tell me what would you do if her hair was black and her eyes were blue? I've been around and all over this world, I ain't never seen nothing like a Galway girl. Thank you. Well, I'll tell you, just a couple of weeks ago was 29. Our careers are a little bit different. Colleen learned as a small kid and played professionally as a child laborer for a while. Put down her fiddle for 15 years, picked it back up and started playing again. Whereas I didn't start until young adulthood and have gone consecutively. So got my 29th anniversary the other day, and I've had several different bands, and there's more to come, but nothing will ever top the experience of Seldom Sober. And one of the things that people don't realize that makes it so good is how easy it's been. Colleen learned each other's language pretty quickly. I developed my guitar style around her fiddle playing. Before we got together, I was kind of a multi-instrumentalist, which meant I played a lot of instruments, but I didn't play any of them well. So this is when I became a guitar player and kind of developed my style around her. And it's every time we tried to learn something new or do something, it was easy. Every time we ran into a problem, it was easy. The whole thing was great. So I'll tell you a quick story from the days of Murphy's Law. There was a little room upstairs. We played on a stage, and there was a staircase over to the left, went all the way up to the top. And occasionally they'd have a small little private party up there. And there's a little party going on up there, and all of a sudden this guy walks down in a full jester costume. All the New Orleans colors, purple, yellow, and green. And then this guy is wearing an Australian bushman's hat, and Colleen's playing a fiddle tune, and he takes out a little rubber breast and puts it under his arm and starts pumping it along to the music.
You probably should have saved this one for after 8.
Yeah, I probably should have.
I've got kids staring me in the face right now.
I'll finish it later. Sorry, bad timing. Forgot about the children thing. I'm surprised. Usually when I tell that story, you say you don't remember it. You don't remember that happening. Okay, I'll tell you later. My child's supposed to be here tonight, but he's working. The nerve of him. Oh, I'd say it in front of my kid, too. What if we do the Boys of Fair Hill? If you want me to do another one after that, I will. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a song from Cork. It's called The Boys of Fair Hill. I'll tell you a little bit about this one. The first verse, which is the same as the last verse, mentions Father Matthew. And that's Father Theobald Matthew, the founder and leader of the Cork Temperance Movement, of which Colleen is a proud member on Tuesdays only. And
actually, that's way more true now, isn't it?
It's actually, she's a member Sunday through Friday, and card-carrying member. So there's a statue of Father Matthew there, and that's. But I did some research. And I found out that Father Matthew came to Savannah in 1851, and I know that it's true because it's on the internet. And Father Matthew preached for 8 hours on a Sunday in Savannah, and he got 1,000 people to sign his abstinence pledge. And within 1 month, 998 of them regretted it, and the other 2 were dead. So this is a song from Cork, and we've got a couple of hornpipes in here. One, if you ever watched Popeye the Sailor Man, you'll recognize it. The other one, if you remember the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie, you might remember this one. It's called The Fisher's Hornpipe. But here's a great song from Cork, where some of my people come from. The smell on Patrick's Bridge is a wicked. How do Father Matthew stick it? Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. If you go to Cork, you'll get Trisheen, Murphy Stout, Pig's Croupians. Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. Shandon Steeple grows up straight, Riverlea flows underneath. Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. Them Blarney hens don't lays at all. When they lays them small. Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. Well, Blackpool girls are very rude. They go swimming in the nude. Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. But they are no good at all, up against the sunbeam wall. Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. But Greenmount girls are very nice. I have tried 'em once or twice. Here's up them all, says the boys of Fair Hill. Well, if you want to join our club, just come down to Quinlan's pub. Ears up them all, says the boys of Fairhill. Christy Ring, he hooked a ball. We hooked him up then, ball and all. Ears up them all, says the boys of Fairhill. Father Murphy's in his cups. The old lad's fallen and he can't get up. Ears up them all, says the boys of Fairhill. The smell on Patrick's Bridge is a wicked. Howdy, Father Matthew Stickett. Ears up them all, says the boys of Fairhill. Ears up them all, says the boys of Fairhill. Thank you so much. Well, we're going to do another song that we learned during the pandemic, I believe. Leading up to the pandemic, and even at some points before, we found ourselves in gigs where either for the whole gig or at some point in the evening, we found ourselves playing to people who didn't know or necessarily like Irish music, and we kind of figured we should probably have some other stuff to mix in for those situations. And, right before the pandemic is when Kevin Barry's closed, so we lost that, so we were reinventing ourselves. So during the pandemic, we learned lots of popular songs, and this is one of them. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Coming to me.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah. So this is, I didn't realize that Alan Jackson is from Georgia, so this is a good Georgia song. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Sun is hot and that old clock is moving slow, so am I. Workday passes like molasses in wintertime, but it's July. Getting paid by the hour and older by the minute. My boss just pushed me over the limit. Like to call him something, I think I'll just call it a day. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. This lunch break is gonna take all afternoon, half the night. Tomorrow morning I know there'll be hell to pay. but it's alright. Hadn't had a day off now in over a year. My Jamaican vacation's gonna start right here. If the phone's for me, you can tell him I just sailed away. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I could pay off my tab, put myself in a cab, and be back to work before 2. At a moment like this, I can't help but wonder, what would Jimmy Buffett do? He'd say, pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. Pour me something tall and strong, make it a hurricane before I go insane. It's only 12:30, but I don't care. No, I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Thank you much, everybody. Thank you. Well, for years I've known that Seldom Sober would come to an end eventually. Didn't know when, didn't know how, didn't know why, and I always wondered what the last show would be like, and I couldn't imagine anything better. This is just absolutely phenomenal. Thank you all for being here. Colleen's going to play some more fiddle tunes. I played an extra one because she played some hornpipes in that other song. Okay, she's going to play the Ballyloughlin set. This is actually on our recording that came out 5 years ago called 6 Months in Confession. It's not just a line from one of the songs in the CD, it's also the exact length of time it would take us to explain all of our sins. It's a very interesting jig set. There's 2 jigs in it. Usually a tune will have 2 parts, maybe 3. In this set, each jig has 4 parts and is in 2 different keys. So it's an unusual tune set. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. All right, well, Colleen doesn't know this yet, but this is the last time I'm singing this next song. It's too hard on my arthritis.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. Last time I played this song, I didn't know if I'd be able to finish the show. That's why I'm doing it before a break. But this was a song we had a lot of fun with at Kevin Barry's and other places, and my mom likes it. So we're going to do the Rattling Bog for you. I'm happy to tell you that I am working on the Barley Mow, which is a similar type of song, but is a different rhythm, so it doesn't aggravate my arthritis quite so bad. But if we can get it done, we're going to do the Rattling Bog. Rare bog, rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. In that bog there was a tree, a rare tree, rattling tree in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. On that tree there was a limb, a rare limb, a rattling limb, and a limb on the tree, in the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. And on that limb there was a branch, a rare branch, a rattling branch, and the branch and a limb on the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. On that branch there was a twig, a rare twig, a rattling twig, twig in the branch, and the limb on the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. On that twig there was a nest, a rare nest, a rattling nest, and the nest of the twig, and the twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. And in that nest there was an egg, a rare egg, a rattling egg, and the egg, and the nest on the twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. On that egg there was a bird, a rare bird, a rattling bird, and the bird, and the egg, and the nest on the twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. On that bird there was a feather, a rare feather, rattling feather on the bird, and the egg, and the nest on twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog, bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. On that feather there was a flea, a rare flea, a rattling flea, flea on the feather, in front of the bird, and the egg, and the nest on twig, and the branch, and the limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. And on that flea there was a wing, a rare wing, a rattling wing, wing on the flea, and the feather, in front of the bird, and the egg, and the nest on twig, and the branch, and limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. And on that wing there was a rash, a rare rash, a rattling rash, rash on the wing, and the flea, and feather, in front of the bird, and the egg, and the nest on twig, and the branch, and limb, and the tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. On that rash there was a speck, a rare speck, a rattling speck, speck in the rash, on the wing, and the flea, and feather, in front of the bird, and the egg, and the nest on twig, and the branch, and limb, tree, in the bog. And the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Shall we do one more? One more for the last time. And on that speck there was an atom, a rare atom, a rattling atom, atom and speck in the rash, on the wing, and flea, and feather, friend the bird, and the egg, nest, twig, the branch, limb, tree, in the bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. Rare bog, a rattling bog down in the valley, yo. rare bog, a rattling bog. The bog down in the valley. Ooh. Thank you. We'll be back in a few minutes.